The Tale of the Pencil. A boy named Raju was upset because he had done poorly in his English test. He was sitting in his room. Then his grandmother came and comforted him. She sat beside him and gave him a pencil. Raju looked at his grandma puzzled and said he did not deserve a pencil after his performance in the test. His grandma explained, "You can learn many things from this pencil because it is just like you. It experiences a painful sharpening, just the way you have experienced the pain of not doing well in your test. However, it will help you be a better student, just as all the good that comes from the pencil is from within itself. You will also find the strength to overcome this hurdle. And finally, just as this pencil will make its mark on any surface, you too shall leave your mark on anything you choose." Raju was immediately consoled and promised himself that he would do better. The cap seller and the monkey. A cap seller was sleeping under a tree. The monkey came and took away all his caps. The cap seller looked up and asked the monkey to return his cap. Monkey did not listen to him. The clever cap seller threw his cap on the ground. Monkey did the same. The cap seller picked up the caps and went away happily. Moral: intelligence is a great strength. Two silly goats. There lived two silly goats in a village. There was a narrow bridge over a river in the village. One day, the goats wanted to cross the bridge. One silly goat was on one side. The other one was on the other side. One of them said, "I shall go first. Allow me to pass." The other said, "No, I must go first. You move aside." Neither of them yielded. At last, they came to the middle of the bridge. They began to fight terribly. As they were fighting, both of them fell into the river and were drowned. Moral of the story: love your neighbors. Dove and Ant. An ant fell into the water. A dove spotted the struggling ant. She broke a leaf and threw it near the ant. Ant climbed on it and thanked the dove. A few weeks later, a hunter came to the forest to snare some birds. He spread his net and settled down to wait for his first victim. The ant who was passing by saw this. Just then, she saw the dove flying towards the net. The ant quickly bit the hunter on his toes. Ow! And made him cry. The dove looked down to see the noise and flew away. Moral of the story: do good, get good. Golden eggs. Once upon a time, there was a man who lived in a small village. Because of his best fortune, he had a goose who laid small golden eggs. He wanted to become rich quickly. He thought, if goose can lay golden eggs, then inside its body it is made up of gold only. He thought to get precious metal gold of goose's body to become rich fast. The man became greedy and cut the goose into pieces. Sadly, he was shocked that there was no gold present inside the goose's body. It was only blood in his hands. He felt very sorry that he cut the goose. Moral of the story: think twice before action. Best friend. Jack and Tom were two best friends. They studied in same school. Tom was weak in sports, so Jack used to practice with him. One day, after the practice, Tom asked Jack if he had done his maths homework. Jack said, "I completely forgot about it. What shall I do now?" Tom said, "Don't worry, I will help you." They did their homework together. Next day, their teacher appreciated them for their homework. Moral of the story: help your friend in need. Potato chip seller. Once upon a time, in a far-away village, there lived a small family of Gaurav and Kalpana. They grew potatoes in their fields. Then, Kalpana made chips of the potatoes. After that, Gaurav sold the chips by going from one village to other village. They spent their life from that money which was earned by selling chips. One day, Gaurav went in a village for selling the chips. Gaurav started shouting for selling the chips. And then a mob gathered around Gaurav to buy the chips. The people enjoyed the chips. Just then, Gaurav saw a person in a chips shop trying to sell the chips and thought, "This is Suresh. Once upon a time, even he sold chips with me, and now he has become the owner of a shop. I will also work hard as Suresh and will become a rich man." One day, Kalpana made chips, but potatoes were not enough to make chips. She told Gaurav to go to the field and take some potatoes out. Gaurav went to the field and then he saw a pot and the pot was shining. Then he started to dig the field and found 2 gold pots. He was very surprised to see the gold pots. He decided to hide the pot in his field and come back home and started to do his routine work. He did not tell anyone about the gold pots. Gaurav hid the pots in his fields. Just then, Gaurav heard the conversation between two persons. They were talking about the golden pot. Gaurav heard the conversation between two persons. They were talking about a pot full of gold, which is to be found in this field. And the gold pot person will help the villagers. But Gaurav did not stop his work. In fact, he worked hard as much as he could and as early as he could. After hearing the conversation, Gaurav thought that I must take out my gold pot as soon as possible. And he left away and reached in his fields. Gaurav reached his fields. He saw that all the people were working in the field. I should come here at night. That's what he thought. He came in the night and he started digging. While digging, he fainted. The next morning, the neighbor of Gaurav's field was surprised to see Gaurav lying in the field. Kalpana was worried about her husband. She took him to the doctor for a checkup. She thought if only she had money for the treatment of her husband. She cried in front of her husband. Gaurav thought to himself, why did I not tell my wife about the gold pot? And now, how can I tell her? This is due to my greed. I should help the needy person with this money. Kalpana borrowed some money from Gaurav's friend to look after her husband. Now, Gaurav is feeling well and he told his wife about the gold pot. We should help the needy person.